Hi, welcome back to Pint-Sized Guilt-Free Torah. So Abraham is recovering from his circumcision, and God, so to speak, gives him a personal visit, visits the sick. And from here we learn how tremendously important it is, the mitzvah of visiting the sick. And I just want to say a few small points that people don't realize about this mitzvah. Number one, the main idea in visiting is to take care of the sick person's needs. So before getting involved in a whole conversation and everything else, are you aware of the fact of that person's needs being met? Is the person getting food? The person getting the right kind of food? Now, sometimes the person's in the hospital. There's a dietitian taking care of that. Are the nurses and the staff caring for the person? Are they bringing things on time? Make sure that person's needs are getting taken care of. Number one. Another crucial importance part of this mitzvah is the idea that a person should pray for the sick person. According to some, the Beis Yosef, a great classic commentator, says you have not fulfilled the mitzvah of visiting the sick if you haven't prayed for that person. So you can just pray at the bed. You can say, may you have a speedy recovery, or God should grant you a full recovery. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a long prayer. It can be a short prayer, but you should pray there. So you should care for the person's needs. Make sure the person is taken care of as far as food and other necessities. You should pray for the person. And finally, realize that you are there visiting that person. That is the main part of you being there. Now, as simple as this sounds, what happens? Somebody goes to visit a sick person and the person's asleep. Well, I drove 45 minutes and she's going to feel so awful that I missed her. You know what? Go home and come back another time. Because waking up the person, that's good for you because you don't have to come back, but that's not caring for the needs of the sick person. You should not wake that person up. Another thing, you should have pleasant conversation. You're there again for the person, not for you. So if the person had some kind of food poisoning that sent him to the hospital, you don't say, wow, how'd that happen? Oh, why'd you go to that restaurant? You know, they're always getting bad reviews from the health department. You know, a lot of people are talking about that place. It's just very uncomfortable and making the person feel even worse. You have to bring up good, pleasant topics. Don't talk about the severity of the illness. Don't talk about things that will cause pain, emotional pain to that person. So these are just a few important small points to realize when you're visiting a sick person. We need to take care of that person's needs. If the person's home, make sure the person has food, the right kind of blankets, clothing. If the person's in the hospital, make sure the staff is taking care of that person. We need to pray for that person. We need to make sure that that person is, when they're sleeping, remain sleeping. And when that person doesn't want to see anyone, we shouldn't push our way in. And finally, we should realize that our purpose is for the sick person, and therefore our conversation should be pleasant, it should be happy, and should maybe even a little levity sometimes to bring some joy to that person that we're visiting. Have a wonderful day.